Hello and welcome to this video. In this tutorial I am going to go through the configuration of the Pipnotic Intra-Candles indicator. So my motivation for writing this was I wanted to be able to see what was going on the current time frame as well as the greater time frame. So if I'm trading on the 1 hour chart, I mean, wouldn't it be nice to be able to see what the daily chart was doing without having to go to the daily chart? Because once you do that, you kind of lose focus of what's going on. So you're on the hourly chart, it looks like this. You're on the daily chart, it looks like that. And so this is my whole motivation for writing this piece of software. So if we drag it on the chart, just double click it, we'll leave it in its default configuration, and I'll go like that. So what it's showing me now, it's showing me the daily candles on top of the 1 hour candles. So we can see 1 hour price action here, and on top of those we can see these lovely daily candles. And there are a few different colors here, and I'll explain that. The main colors that you should be aware of are the tops and the bottoms of these candles. So this candle, the bottom of this candle is tomato colored, which means that this was a bearish candle. The bottom of this candle was blue, Dodger blue, which means it's bullish. So bearish candle, bullish candle, bearish candle, bearish candle, bullish candle. And you can change the colors of these, and we'll do that in just a second. But before we do, I also want to bring your attention to the color of the tops of the boxes. And so, I mean, we have the bottom of the colors of the boxes, which show us the direction of the candle itself, and the top of the box shows us the same information that the supply and demand indicator is showing us in relation to price imbalance candles and accumulation candles. So we know the lime green color from the supply and demand software, we can see that here, and we know the white color from the supply and demand software, which we can see here. So this candle here is a daily price imbalance, this candle here is a daily accumulation. So you can see how price rallied up, we accumulated, and we rallied. What does that mean? Well, that means that this is actually a continuation pattern on the daily chart. What would you do? Well, you would buy at demand, which would be this accumulation candle here. And you can see that this overlapped very nicely with this area of demand. On the 1 hour chart, there was actually price that rallied, accumulated, and broke away. So this is actually where the trade would have been taken, and that's pretty close to where price came. So this is a really nice way to be able to see that. Look at the kiwi maybe. So if you look here, you can see that we have a really nice push away here. So we know that this day closed here and it opened here. So price sold off, it opened, it sold off. So we had two good pushes here. And we have the parent-child relationship right at the close. What does that mean? Well, that means that we would ideally take a trade at the parent, because we have price coming down towards the bottom. So we bounced, probably something over here to the left. We went higher, we accumulated, we sold off, we accumulated, we sold off. Here's the child and here's the parent. So this would bring our attention to this area here, which is very interesting to us, because this is the parent that we want to target for an entry, and this is roughly where price came back to thereafter. Okay, so we go to the 4 hour chart. We're seeing weekly candles overlaid, and so we can see that we have a weekly price imbalance. We have another weekly price imbalance. We have an accumulation candle on the weekly chart. Price kind of drifted lower from there. And here we have a nice area of supply on the 4 hour chart, which occurred on the open of this week here. So price gapped down to the week, which is lovely. So now we have a pretty nice area here that would be interesting for us to target for a trade, because when price left here on this 4 hour chart, we managed to drive below these lows here. So we have supply at the open and the close of this weekly chart. So I mean, it works on all time frames. You go to the half an hour chart, you are viewing 4 hour price information at the same time. I'm just going to go through the configuration options. It's a very simple indicator. So we have the product key, then we have the bullish candle, we have the bearish candle, we have and all the colors that we know, of course, from the supply and demand software. We have our accumulation candle, which is white. We have the lime green, which is a price imbalance. Then we have all of these colors, which are identical to the colors that we use in the supply and demand software. Then we have the rectangle line width, which is 1, which simply specifies the thickness of these rectangles. Then we have the greater period multipliers, which is 2. And what does that mean? Well, if I want to, for example, look at the current time frame as well as the current time frame plus 1 and 2, or the current time frame plus 2 and 3, then I would simply put it in here. So I'm on the hourly chart, I want to see daily and weekly candles on the hourly chart, then I would put 2, 3. So we have weekly candles here. Within those we have daily candles, and so we are now able to identify areas of accumulation on the weekly, price imbalances on the daily, while at the same time viewing 1 hour price information. So it's an incredibly powerful tool, as you can see. Then we have this down here, which is called enable level projections. If you set this to true, then it's going to show you these projections, these level projections from the previous period. So we know here that we have the high here from the previous day, which is just here, went up here. We have the low from the previous day, and we have the open from the previous day and the close from the previous day, which is just here, which you can't really see it. So you can reference these when you're trading. So if you have a strategy that, for example, focuses on the closes or the opens from previous periods, or highs and lows, then you can simply reference these, because these are going to be visible on your chart during the current period that is now open. So now we are in the middle of this current day. We have the open, high, and low, and close for today, and we can see the open, high, low, and close from yesterday. And so this is just a really nice way to be able to view this information on the current chart. Well, I think I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, please send them in.